So we are outside of Exeter Crown Court with these wonderful people. If you just turn the camera around, you can see lots of us are attending today.
Yeah.
And we are all standing up. We're all 1% shareholders of the Community Law Court.
They brought the soup kitchen.
They
brought the soup.
They brought us. Yeah, they brought the van ready to take us all home. Not. And we're men and women. We're accountable for our actions and our choices. And because of that, excuse me. And because of that, we are serving this court. This court denied myself and my sons access to justice when Devon County Council were causing us extreme harm. The orders state that it was an attempt to murder by omission. That's how serious it is. Now you can watch the full hearing, it's a little bit boring because there's gaps and spaces, but it's 3 hours long where I show 18 years of medical proof that according to the NHS, I know, I have an immune disorder that if I was not taking life-saving medications would kill me. This was over bus passes. So this is why this case is so extreme, because it was just a small thing that we needed and we were denied that, and the impact of that was enormously and devastating. What's happening right now is that we're still being harassed. The Devon County Council agents, PCSOs, social workers, police officers, nurses from the NHS are forcing their way into our home. We've got false ASBOs against my sons. We have concerns that I'm presenting as having mental health problems, you name it, they have, they've thrown it at me. So that's why we're so grateful for your support. But ultimately, this affects all of us because, I'm a warrior. You can see that, right? And I have legal and lawful training, and I'm still here. So,
Anna, can you tell us a little bit about the private bar guild and how they're acting privately, rather than serving the people and serving justice? Because that's the main. Is that the main reason to clarification?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's a great question. Okay, so the private bar guild oath is that no fact can be tried in a court of law. No fact can be tried in a court of law. That means that you will never get justice here. You will never get justice in the family court. You will never.
Get your megaphone?
Sorry, but then you won't be able to see my lovely face. You will never get justice in the family court. You will never get justice in the criminal court. You will never get justice in any.
Where's the megaphone?
Oh, he's giving me a co-op bag. Apparently that's going to help. Hey, well done. Yeah, okay. Do I press a...
Yeah.
Do I press that?
Yeah, you've got it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we've got it.
Oh, okay. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay. So I am trained to bar level. So I was training to be a barrister. I didn't take the oath at the bar because I realised the level of corruption. The private bar guild oath, which I never took, was no fact can be tried in a court of law. That means whether you are a family in the secret family courts, where it's all about assumption and presumptions of social services, very much supported by the police, or whether you have been charged with a crime, even though there is no victim, no man or woman that you've caused harm, loss or injury to, you will be convicted. It is heinous. Now, we know now that they cannot do that without our consent, and consent is assumed by the transfer of ownership in the birth registration certificate from your mother and father, who are the informants, to Crown Corporation. So these organisations are heinous, and the thing is that we now have that level of knowledge that we can say, well, hold on, we're not legal entities, we're not legal fictions, we are men and women, and we object to being treated like bonded slaves, which is in fact how we have been treated over decades. So just coming back, the private bar guild oath is no fact can be tried in a court of law. What they do is they put a public oath on top of that, so the private bar guild oath is hidden. But if you ask any judge in a court, what is your highest oath, they have to recuse themselves, they have to walk away, because they know that if they told you what their private oath is, they couldn't be even in that court, okay? So they're masquerading as the law. We have no court other than the community law court in this whole country that is for men and women, for the people. The community law court is trial by jury, and we create the law because our will is supreme. How we do that is the trial by jury hear the evidence. The man or woman or organisation that you're claiming against can come in and put their side of the story forward, and then the trial by jury can ask questions and they decide on the law. So it's not, there's no judge in our court, okay? And it's just simpler, it's beautiful, and it puts the power back where it belongs with we the people. So this court behind us is our building, which is basically being misappropriated by the private bar guild, okay? That's our building in there, and they are basically creaming away, stealing our money because they can access our trusts. They can monetize our sons and daughters by taking them into the care system and fostering them, or even having them adopted. It is highness, and it's becoming common knowledge. We are accountable for changing that. We are accountable for calling it out. Now, in our case today, and while they are being given the orders, the community law courts ordered that they vacate the building on April the 13th, 2022. Now, I have to tell you that they have not been served these orders before. I don't know why, but it hasn't happened. So this is the first time that they're going to be served today. Okay. And so what is going to happen is we're going to let them know that a People's Court of men and women and their offspring have taken away their right to lease this building. The aim is that this will become the first trial by jury run for the people, by the people, in the British Isles for possibly 100 or 150 years, okay? We need this court building. We need the community law court to have, to have that basis. At the minute, we run the court in community centres, and that's not really a viable thing. And also, we can't fully administrate it because obviously, there's only myself and Neil. But we do work in the legalese courts at the moment. We don't have a choice, and we operate in the lawful jurisdiction. But we often get thrown out of court. We were in the magistrates' court a week ago, and I went in and I removed what's called all uneven playing surfaces because they sit high up. So that's a psychological game that they play with us to intimidate us as soon as we walk into, their room. And I was picked up by a security guard and physically thrown out of the court just for saying that. So that's how frightened they are of us knowing what I'm sharing with you now. And I just ask you, this is not complex, this is really simple. You've got to educate your sons and daughters and as many people as possible. This system is over. It is done. It is the Roman court system. It's over. We will not be treated like bonded slaves. We will not be laundered by these heinous people walking around thinking that they are gods, wearing their cloaks. Why do you think they wear the wig? They wear the wig to cover the sins that they are committing, because at the end of the day we all answer to our Creator, and they know that they have stolen our sons and daughters. They know that they have imprisoned us unlawfully, okay? They know that they have stolen our property, okay? And it's over. It is over.
We say no.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.